the Heisman race, because this game kind of opened it up a bit, and we kind of got a lot of options.
You want me to give my top four first?
Top four. Dude,
I only
top
rank four
three,
people.
man. Top three. That's kind of that's.
No, I had to rank four. Rank four.
Okay.
My top four.
Okay.
It goes for Najee Harris. I feel like after that game, you got to put him up there, but he's not no top three. You know what I'm saying? He was already on the list before. He had it was Zach Wilson in front of him.
Right.
But I mean, I had to make
hit a skid. So
yeah. So I originally, honestly, I wrote Zach Wilson on there, but I crossed it down and put Najee.
Makes sense.
At number 3, Kyle Trask.
Yeah.
I mean, number 2, we'll explain it, Mac Jones. I think he just played a better game. And y'all listening probably thinking I'm crazy right now.
Yeah.
But I know Dimitri going to agree with me. DeVonta Smith is a Heisman winner.
Right now, DeVonta Smith is that man. Best player in college football. You cannot convince me otherwise. Look, this is the first Bama game I've watched from start to finish. And Mac Jones takes the snap. He doesn't need to look anywhere else. His first sight is on DeVonta Smith, and people were calling him a game manager. I'm like, the way he was reading the defense to see if it was going to be man coverage, to see where the safety was moving, to see if he could get the ball in DeVonta Smith's hands. That's not a game manager, man. A game manager was Jake Fromm, and this is not a game manager. This is a field general, man. A straight beast. And I like Mac Jones, and he definitely outplayed Trask. Trask with 2 fumbles. One got called back, thankfully. Trask, his moment is gone. I think his Heisman, he's got the stats, but DeVonta Smith has the swagger, man. The exaggerated swagger of a black team, man. He just has it.
Let's be honest here, right?
Right.
DeVonta, there's always talks about Heisman moments.
Yeah.
And personally, me, I haven't watched any Alabama games, except for this one right here and some of the Georgia one. We stopped watching it.
Oh, of course.
DeVonta Smith, if he had a Heisman moment, it was probably this game. Unless he performs like this day, I mean,
it's too easy to be a Heisman moment.
The stats say that this is how he performs every game, which is crazy to me. I mean, the fact that I've been blinded, obviously, because this is the first time I've even talked about DeVonta Smith and the Heisman in the same conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm going to this game, and, like, people are like, hey, DeVonta Smith kind of look nice. And I'm like, bro, what y'all talking about, man? It's Mac Jones. You know what I'm saying? And then they pull up the stats, and I'm like, oh, he kind of nice. And then I start having flashbacks to when he caught 6 touchdowns in a game, and I'm like, I knew he was going to be kind of nice.
Yeah.
And then the Georgia game where, this man was just crossing up our receivers every play.
Yeah, I think his Heisman moment was last week. Nearly 300 receiving yards against Arkansas. I mean, it's Arkansas, but still, man. I think that really kind of started telling people, like, look, man, this guy is it. This is the real deal. Yeah, And it's crazy because even this season's stats don't compare to what Amari Cooper did a while back. And that's one thing I feel like could hold him back from really getting respect in the Heisman race.
You also got to think. This man, DeVonta, he played 4 games with Jalen Waddle.
Yes, he was sharing.
Take Jalen Waddle out of there. You can give him two or three more 100 yards
with Najee Harris on the field as well. And you're saying this guy's in the top 4, and I see a lot of people saying that Najee Harris is actually over DeVonta Smith. That is just pure cap. And you can't let recency bias because he had 5 touchdowns. You can't let that factor. It's DeVonta Smith. DeVonta Smith has done stuff like this every game.
Another thing about Najee and the Alabama offense as a whole.
Okay.
I mean, you got their quarterback, number 1 in QBR. Running back, number 1 in touchdowns. Wide receiver, I think it was number 1 or number 2 in yards. That just shows you how lethal this offense is. And the fact that Alabama could be getting Jalen Waddle back in the playoff.
Oh my
that just proves our point. This is Bama's year.
This is their year.
And the thing is about Bama right now is that just because they're so dominant year in and year out, if this was an LSU team last year, it'd be all over the news. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, Bama, because LSU kind of started that whole vibe of, like, offense is just being dominant. But even still, like, Bama's offense this year is not even on the level that LSU was last season. That's saying a lot, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, it's just so dominant when you have 3 potential candidates. I think Alabama will have 3 players at the Heisman ceremony. They will have 3 players sitting in those seats. And that is crazy, man. That is domination. The best time to beat Bama was earlier in the season when they didn't fully get their chemistry down, when they were playing teams like Georgia. I don't think you can beat them now.
That's another thing. Like, we played Bama at their weakest point, possibly.
Yep.
And we got smoked.
Because we somehow had a halftime lead with a postal worker as our quarterback.
We got smoked like some brisket on Saturday morning.
Facts.
I mean,
but it was Saturday night, you know.
Yeah, facts.
That was true, but it was Saturday night.
It was Saturday night, but I mean, it's the same difference.
Mm-hmm.
We got this was at this team's weakest point, basically, because I mean, they didn't grow. I mean, you could say their weakest point was week 4 when they lost Jalen Waddle, but I mean, honestly, they got stronger. Let's be honest here.
They lost Jalen Waddle and they just didn't skip a beat, because like I said, people say Mac Jones is a game manager. That's cap. He's a field general beast with a nice deep ball. One of the best deep balls in the nation.
And that's the thing. I watched the whole game, and I guess I wasn't looking close enough, because I said that they had a little down game for Mac Jones. But, I mean, he still put up 400 yards.
No down game for him. That man just dominated.
It was just Najee played a little bit better. That's all it was.
Yeah, it just kind of shouted
on Najee.
Yeah, I don't know. Not for me. Come on. Mac Jones.
But DeVonta Smith's 100% my Heisman winner. If DeVonta Smith doesn't win the Heisman,
it'll possibly go to Matt. If honestly DeVonta doesn't win it, it could end up going to Kyle Trask.
If it goes to Kyle Trask, it's rigged. I mean,
they wouldn't rig it for Florida though. That doesn't make sense. But let's see how. I mean, the voting ends Monday, so I think this was enough to maybe convince them. But I think it's a little too late. I think Kyle Trask might have already gotten the votes needed.
The finalist gets announced Christmas Eve.
Yep.
So we'll honestly see there who wins it. Because if DeVonta Smith isn't in the finalists, Kyle Trask is winning it.
DeVonta Smith's going to be in it. He's going to be top 3. He at least has to be top 3. You can't convince me he's not.
If he isn't, then it's going to Kyle Trask, and there's someone behind the scenes pulling the strings. Because come on, man, DeVonta Smith, he's had a legendary year. Yeah. There ain't no doubt about it. Mm-hmm. I mean, and you even brought up a point. You said nobody's even been talking about this dude on mock drafts.
Nah, they still got guys like Jamar Chase over him. And I'm like, it's smart, because don't forget now, Jamar Chase was that dude. But DeVonta Smith...
That's the thing. LSU had 2 Biletnikoff
Smith is
players.
Just built different.
Yeah. Bro, look, I'm going to be honest with you. One-on-one, not one-on-one, but like, you know, if taking either or, I'm probably going to take DeVonta Smith.
Yeah.
Over Jamar Chase.
Yeah, but I don't want people to forget that Jamar Chase was that dude.
Jamar Chase was him and now. Justin Jefferson were both Biletnikoff finalists.
Don't forget. But there's also that question: does Mac Jones's weapons make him look better than he actually is? And that's one thing I was thinking about. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, Mac Jones is that dude, but his weapon, having DeVonta Smith makes it easier. Let's be honest. It makes it a little bit easier for Kyle Trask, even though Pitts wasn't that big of an issue for Bama this game.
Joe Burrow had 2 Biletnikoff wide receivers, right?
Mm-hmm.
He won the Heisman. Mac Jones has DeVonta Smith, Jalen Waddle, Michi. Look, these players are so good. Michi done hit a man like he was a safety. Knocked that man out.
Right.
Not knock him out, but like he about did. I mean, that hit was nasty.
It was just disgusting.
DeVonta
Future
Smith
for Alabama is great, man. It's wide receiver you can't tell me it's not.
That's facts. That's 100%.
Bama's wide receiver you. Might as well go ahead and
Florida,
give them that.
Florida looks like it's overrated you. No, I'm just kidding. That's jokes. They played amazing.